Hello everyone. Today we're thinking about prehistoric animals. We love talking about animals in class, and today we're going to think about how the animals that lived a long time ago, around the Stone Age and before, are different to the animals that we see in the world today. When we're thinking about the difference, we need to think about their size. Are they bigger or smaller than the animals we have today? Are they more hairy or smooth? And what colour are they? Is that different or is that the same? The first one we're going to think about is the Prosoptodon and the capybara. The capybara is the largest rodent that we have today, but it's nowhere near as big as Prosoptodon. Have a look at the picture. It was nearly as big as a man. The next one, it was like a giant pig. This one is called a Diodon, and it was taller than a man. If you have a look at the wild pigs at the bottom of the picture, they're not as big as a man. They only come up to his waist, so they were much bigger. The Diodon had bigger scary teeth too. The Megatherium was like a giant sloth. Sloths are creatures that we have today. They live in the rainforests and spend all their time in the trees. This picture shows a sloth at a rescue centre, and you can see it's small enough for the lady to hold in her hands. But the Megatherium was enormous. Take a look at the picture at the top. It's much taller than the man, and heavier too. The next animal is an armadillo. You can see in the picture at the bottom, armadillos are small enough to hold in your hands. This one's at the vet. He's very poorly. The Diodon is almost as tall as the man in the picture and very heavy. It had a spiky tail and it's got no hairs like the armadillo that we see today, but it's still got that bony plate over his back. Prosoptodon was an ancient kangaroo that lived years and years ago. If you look at the pictures, you can see that they weren't much bigger than the kangaroos that we have in Australia today, but it was heavier, it was a bit chunkier, and its nose was shorter. Its face looks a bit more like a teddy bear's face, doesn't it? Stupendous was a giant turtle. It was as big as a small car, much bigger than people, and much bigger than the leatherback turtles that swim in our seas today. Sharks. Sharks have been on our planet for millions of years, and we think that the great white shark is enormous. If you look at the picture, down at the bottom, you can see a picture of somebody swimming, so you can see how big the great white shark is. But the Megalodon was even bigger. That was the biggest shark that ever lived on Earth. We have rhinoceroses today, and they have a horn on their nose and they are very smooth. But a long time ago, around the time of the Ice Age, we had woolly rhinoceros. They needed their wool to keep warm because it was a lot colder then. And here is the most famous prehistoric mammal. It's the woolly mammoth. They weren't really much bigger than the elephants that we have today, but their tusks were enormous and they needed lots of woolly fur because they lived in the Ice Age too. Why don't you think about which one of the prehistoric beasts is your favourite and see if you can find out a little bit more about it. Perhaps you could draw a picture and send it to me. I love to see pictures of your work. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.